Hi, I'm Shannon Mouton Gray, and welcome to McKinney Associates Tips in 20. Our February webinar is 10 Techniques for Mastering the Art of Small Talk. We here at McKinney know it doesn't take a lot of time to help people do and be better, and it's our goal to provide you practical advice and information that you can use in 20 minutes or less, hence the hashtag Tips in 20. So let's get started. And while we're waiting for things to happen, I want to give a shout out to my production team, Ron.
Hey.
He's on delay. And Bria, the intern, who couldn't be with us today, but she was instrumental in helping pull today off. So don't want to leave her out. So let's get started. We always begin at the beginning here. So according to the dictionary, small talk is polite conversation about unimportant or insignificant matters. Remember, small talk is supposed to be unimportant and insignificant. So relax, don't get your undies in a bunch, you got this. Now, that being said, don't fall for the okie doke. Small talk is an art, and like the Impressionist masters, the craft of small talk is learned through practice and patience. Trust me, becoming a small talk virtuoso does not happen overnight. I say this a lot in our presentations because it has far-reaching impact across many things in life. Plan, and plan some more, and then replan and plan some more. Good planning can reduce anxiety and provide you that needed boost of confidence, especially in small talk situations. Consider having a mental checklist of potential topics or a small cheat sheet that you can inconspicuously glance at. Now, let's be clear here. A cheat sheet that you can inconspicuously glance at. I don't mean something like you see here, 8.5 sheet of paper on a clipboard. No, small 3x5 card tucked away somewhere just in case you need it. Good topics to consider having on your checklist include travel, hobbies, sports, movies, and of course, one of my favorites, food. Trending and hot topics are always good for small talk. Troll social media sites, check out USA Today or the Daily News for great headlines, interesting factoids, and tidbits for popular culture. I strongly recommend you stay away from politics, religion, and overly personal matters. I'm sure your kids are fantastic. They're great. They're going to cure cancer, be the next president, and yada, 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 and so on and so on. But really, in a small talk situation, I don't care. Remember, keep it light and breezy. These are supposed to be unimportant and insignificant chats. And if you don't want to be the one driving the conversation, this is one of the easiest small talk techniques known to humankind. That's to get us talking about our favorite subject, which is what? Ourselves. As the self-involved, narcissistic people we are, can I get amen?
Amen.
We love talking about ourselves, our work, our interests, our opinions. And if you think I'm kidding, check out the millions of people on Facebook who share every single solitary, mundane piece of minutia about their lives. And yes, that is my Facebook page where I share the mundane pieces of minutia about my life. So you can suck it. A few good open-ended questions will keep most folks rambling on for hours and hours. So, what do you do? How long have you been queen? How did you and Prince Philip meet? Will Charles ever get a chance to rule? Okay, maybe not that last question, but you get my drift though. Get other people talking. and it lessens the burden on what you have to talk about. Now, let's be clear. You've asked someone all of these questions, so please, 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 put away your devices. You've got their attention, so pay attention and talk to them. Because let's be clear, folks, if they're sharing every single nauseating detail of their spectacular lives, then the least you can do is pay attention, especially if you want them to reciprocate when you start sharing all of the wonderfulness that makes up you. And to prove you're paying attention, folks, a few good nods can go a long way. First, it lets folks know that you're still alive, which is kind of important in a conversation. And second, it lets folks know that you're interested in what's being shared. Ooh, and this is our secret weapon, folks. Repetition, repetition, repetition. This little trick is great. It lets people know we're listening, and it helps us remember what they're saying. This, of course, comes in handy if we need to recall the information or parts of the conversation later. Now, I've spoken about this tip before, so I won't belabor the point. The short version, eye contact is a sign of respect, and it's a way to develop a connection and build trust. Now, there is such a thing as too much eye contact, which is called staring and being what?
Creepy.
And no one wants to be what?
Creepy.
So remember to blink, and every so often just glance away. You want to break up the glare that you're giving so you're not going to be
creepy.
Excellent. Thanks, Ron.
No problem.
Oh yeah, now this is a tough one for a lot of people, and it's tough for me still. Let me be clear though, I'm not suggesting you open up your heart to someone for the sake of good small talk. I am saying you want to be relaxed and open to a cordial conversation that may go in 1,000 different directions. Trust yourself to handle it, no matter where it leads. Ooh, yeah. Just say no, 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 no. Say no to the rumors, innuendo, backbiting, whispers, and general foolishness. Remember, if Jane gossips about Mary around you, then she's probably gossiping about you to Mary. Oh, and my 10th and final tip. As the great Kenny Rogers said before the very bad facelift, you got to know when to hold them and you got to know when to fold them. It's okay to politely end a conversation and move on. A good phrase to use for making polite and plausible exits is, I need. Think about it. I need to get something to eat, or I need to go talk to so-and-so, or I need to get a drink, or I need to leave, or I need to use the restroom. All of those are great and polite ways to end a conversation, and no one looks at you crazy. Oh, we have a bonus. Can I get a drum roll? Very good. They've been practicing, y'all. Our bonus. Oh, folks, be pleasant, be nice, put a smile on your face. No one likes to talk to a Debbie Downer or a Sam Suckface. It's now time for the Q&A portion of the program, so please place your tray tables in the upright position and hand your trash to the attendants as they make a final pass through the cabin. And don't forget to type your questions in the Q&A box. And hi, everybody, I'm back. Okay, so we're going to take some questions. How can you plan before a small talk situation? You don't really plan to have small talk as much as you plan if you're going to have small talk. You have, again, kind of a checklist of some things you know are interesting that you want to talk about. Again, very general, broad topics that can go anywhere. So using the one of Tom Brady and Deflategate from the presentation. You know, you can talk about football, you can talk about New England, you can talk about gambling, you can talk, then that can lead to other sports, which can lead to this, that, and the other thing. You can talk about the Hall of Fame, you can talk about blah, blah, blah. There are just so many different things that different conversations that can spur from that one little tidbit. And that's what you want to have, just some kernels, nuggets, tidbits to get a conversation started so it can go on its natural way. Next question. What can you do when the conversation starts to lull? This is when, oh, you know what? I need to refresh my drink. Or, you know, it's been nice talking to you. I think I'm going to get something to eat. Or quite simply, you know, it's been great talking to you. I'm going to mingle a little bit. It's always okay to say you want to meet other people. And as always, we went to Twitter, and so Ron's got some questions for me from the great folks in the Twitterverse. Oh, if small talk is unimportant, why do I need to have it? Yes, small talk is supposed to be about unimportant and insignificant topics and conversations. While the conversations are insignificant and unimportant, being able to have small talk is actually an important social skill. You get, you know, everyone's about networking now, you know, you do tweet ups and meetups and blah, blah, blah. So you want to be able to talk to people. You want to show that you're a well-rounded and diverse individual who can talk on a myriad of subjects. It makes you more interesting. No one wants to be at the party and be this person. No, not a good look. So next question. I usually get nervous when speaking to people. How do I avoid that? Again, being prepared, planning, doing a little bit of planning, a little bit of research, being prepared can go a long way to alleviating nerves. And again, if you're nervous talking to people, this is where you have some questions ready so that you can just say one, maybe two sentences and let the other person carry the conversation. That's my advice. And I actually have a story about this. Long time ago, before I was married, I'm married now, I did several different kinds of speed dating. And that's where I actually learned to hone my small talk techniques. Because when you're sitting across from a total stranger, total and complete stranger, for 10 minutes, you talk about any and everything under the sun. And so I'll never forget, this was the absolute worst. And this is where it was a 10-minute speed dating. So after about the first 30 seconds of, so have you ever done this before? No. Have you done this before? No, this is really interesting. It's a great social experiment, blah, 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 and so forth and so on. You know, then you start talking, then you have to find things to talk about to see what you and the other person have in common. Well, this one guy sat in front of me, and after the first 30 seconds of blah, blah, he goes, so I'm interested in NASCAR. How about you? He picked the one major American sport, let me be clear, that I know nothing about. I couldn't fake it. There was nothing. I had nothing for him about NASCAR. And yes, it is the #1 spectator sport in the country. I just don't watch it. I had nothing for him. There was nothing I could say to keep this dialogue going. So I started peppering him with questions. How long have you been into racing? Have you been to races? Do you have a favorite driver? What's your favorite team? What's the best cars? Do you do the track stuff or the straight drag racing stuff? I was just letting him have it. And he carried the conversation. And I sat there, oh, really? Interesting. Oh, okay. Well, da-da-da, based on something he said previously. That conversation flew by. Now, I have no idea what we talked about, but he'll never know. And our final question, I believe, unless something else pops up. Can you give a few small talk topics besides talking about myself? Always. Movies, books, food, restaurants are a good one. Any hobbies that either you have or just in general. Depending on a city that you live in, you can always talk about new things that are happening in your city. For instance, DC is launching their new trolley that will go 2 miles straight up and down 8th Street. A ride to nowhere, folks. So I could talk about that ad nauseum. So again, just have a few things in your mind that you can check off. And again, if you run out of things to say, or the conversation comes to its natural end, it is certainly okay to say, it's been a pleasure meeting you. If you excuse me, I'd like to meet some more people. Again, it was great meeting you. I've got to go to the restroom. Thank you. And just leave. Don't wait for them to respond. You say goodbye. You ended the conversation. Exit stage left. Is that the last question? Oh, okay, folks. Oh, yeah. We're getting close to time. I want to make sure you get 2 or 3 minutes of your life back. So again, this is Shannon Mouton Gray for McKinney Associates, and I want to thank you for joining us for today's webinar, 10 Techniques for Mastering the Art of Small Talk. You can follow McKinney on social media at Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and SlideShare. You can also visit us and find us at mckpr.com, where you can sign up for our monthly newsletter. Not weekly, not daily. It only comes once a month, folks. So we hope to see you around the interwebs. Again, I'm Shannon Mouton Gray, and look forward to seeing you next month when our topic will be, one second, I need my specs. Our topic will be, oh, that's right, 8 tactics for managing up, and away. Have a good afternoon, folks. See you around the interwebs.